In a world filled with constant distractions and emotional triggers, mastering self-control can feel like a daunting task. But what if I told you that the secret to living a more peaceful, focused, and fulfilling life lies within your own actions and decisions? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us how to regain control over our emotions, make wiser decisions, and align our daily actions with our deeper values. In this video, we'll explore the power of self-control, how it can transform your life, and the practical Stoic strategies that you can start applying today. Whether it's about resisting temptations, managing stress, or staying focused on your long-term goals, learning to practice self-control is the key to personal growth. 1. The power of Stoicism. Stoicism offers us a life-changing perspective. While we can't control everything that happens around us, we have the power to control how we respond. Imagine being stuck in traffic when you're already late for an important meeting. Instead of letting anger take over, you can choose how to react. You might decide to take a deep breath, put on a calming playlist, and use the time to reflect. That moment of frustration can shift from a stressor to an opportunity for mindfulness and growth. The real power lies in recognizing that our reactions shape our lives more than external events ever will. When things don't go according to plan, we often feel helpless, but Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect, understanding that we can choose how to handle these situations. The next time your plans are disrupted, whether it's a colleague being late or an unexpected change in your day, ask yourself, how can I respond in a way that reflects my values and keeps me calm? For instance, think about a difficult conversation with a loved one. Instead of reacting defensively or shutting down, you have the chance to pause, listen with compassion, and respond thoughtfully. This not only strengthens the relationship but also helps you grow emotionally. By choosing your responses carefully, you can navigate life's challenges without being consumed by frustration or anger. This philosophy is incredibly liberating because it puts the power back in our hands. We can't change the world, but we can transform our own mindset. It's not about denying your feelings. Anger, disappointment, and frustration are all natural. But by recognizing them and choosing a better response, we take back control of our peace and well-being. Life becomes less about surviving each day and more about growing through it, making every moment a chance for personal evolution. So, as we move forward in our daily lives, let's embrace Stoicism. Let's turn the frustrations we face into moments of opportunity, opportunities to grow, to learn, and to choose how we react. Each time we consciously choose a response that aligns with our values, we make a powerful step toward mastering ourselves and shaping a more peaceful, fulfilling life. 2. Understanding anger. Anger is a natural emotion that everyone experiences, but how we manage it can make all the difference in our lives. Imagine you're having a perfectly good day when suddenly, someone cuts you off in traffic, or a colleague interrupts you during an important meeting. The immediate surge of anger can feel overwhelming. Stoicism encourages us not to react impulsively in these moments, but to pause and reflect. Instead of letting anger take control, ask yourself, what judgment am I making about this situation? For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your initial reaction might be frustration. But is it really about the driver? Or is it because you've judged the situation as unfair or an obstacle to your goals? By understanding the judgment beneath the anger, we can shift our response from irritation to calm. This insight from Stoicism helps us recognize that our anger often comes from how we perceive situations, not the situations themselves. Once we understand the root cause of our anger, we gain the ability to change how we respond. Instead of letting anger dictate our actions, we can choose patience, understanding, or even empathy. Maybe the person who cut you off is running late, or perhaps the colleague who interrupted you didn't mean to undermine you. This shift in perspective can transform a moment of frustration into a learning experience, allowing us to practice emotional resilience. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that our emotions, including anger, are rooted in our judgments about the world. By regularly questioning these judgments, we can begin to reshape how we see things and, in turn, how we feel. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions, it means becoming aware of them, understanding them, and choosing responses that align with our values. So, the next time anger rises, take a step back. Reflect on what triggered it and consider a new perspective. This simple practice, rooted in Stoicism, can lead to a deeper sense of emotional control and peace. By understanding and managing our anger, we can move through life with more clarity and resilience. 3. Focus on what you can control. In life, it's easy to get caught up in things we can't control, the traffic jam that makes us late, a colleague's attitude, or a sudden change in plans. It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the key: Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control. This simple shift in mindset can dramatically change how we handle challenges and obstacles. For instance, when you're stuck in traffic, it's tempting to get angry and frustrated, wishing the situation would change. But the reality is, the traffic is beyond your control. What you can control, however, is how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, listen to an inspiring podcast, or simply enjoy some quiet time. The same principle applies to situations at work or in relationships. If a colleague is being difficult, you can't control their actions, but you can control how you engage with them. Rather than reacting emotionally, you can choose to approach the situation with understanding, patience, or even assertiveness if necessary. By constantly reminding ourselves of this distinction between what we can and can't control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and frustration. We can stop wasting energy on things outside our influence and instead focus on constructive actions that align with our goals and values. This approach not only improves our mental clarity but also enhances our resilience in the face of adversity. The beauty of focusing on what we can control is that it empowers us to take charge of our emotional well-being. When we let go of things beyond our influence, we're no longer at the mercy of external events. We're in control of how we respond, and that makes all the difference. So, the next time you face a frustrating situation, pause and ask yourself, what can I control here? Focus on that, and you'll find yourself reacting less impulsively and more intentionally, with a greater sense of peace and empowerment. 4. Mindfulness and emotional awareness. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools we have for managing our emotions, and it's at the heart of Stoic philosophy. In the heat of the moment, when emotions like anger or frustration begin to rise, it can feel impossible to pause and think clearly. But mindfulness teaches us to create space between an event and our reaction. This pause allows us to step back, observe our feelings without judgment, and choose a more thoughtful, intentional response. Imagine this: you're at work, and a colleague makes a comment that irritates you. Your immediate instinct might be to snap back or let the anger build. But with mindfulness, you can catch yourself before you react. You take a deep breath, observe the emotion bubbling up inside, and allow yourself the moment to reflect. Instead of reacting out of impulse, you ask yourself, what is it about this situation that's triggering me? This simple awareness allows you to choose a response that aligns with your values, whether it's calmly addressing the issue, letting it go, or even choosing silence. This practice doesn't just apply to work situations. It can help us in our personal lives too, whether it's during a heated argument with a partner or a stressful moment with family. When we become more mindful, we stop being led by our emotions and start leading them. We can control our reactions, instead of letting our reactions control us. Mindfulness is powerful because it allows us to break free from knee-jerk responses and, instead, act in ways that are intentional and aligned with our true values. The more we practice it, the more we strengthen our emotional intelligence, and the better equipped we are to face life's challenges with clarity and composure. So, next time you feel your emotions taking the wheel, pause and practice mindfulness. You might just be surprised at how much control you really have over your responses, and how much more peaceful and empowering your interactions can become. 5. Embracing impermanence. Life is full of ups and downs, and our emotions can often feel like they're on a roller coaster. One moment, we're on top of the world, and the next, we're dealing with disappointment or frustration. But here's where Stoic philosophy can help us. It teaches us to understand and embrace the impermanence of emotions. When we acknowledge that our feelings are temporary, it becomes easier to weather the storms of life. For example, if you've had a rough day at work, you might feel irritated or discouraged. But by reminding yourself that these emotions won't last forever, you free yourself from being consumed by them. Instead of letting frustration control you, you allow it to pass, knowing that a calmer, more balanced state is on the horizon. This understanding of impermanence doesn't just apply to negative emotions, it also helps us appreciate the good times. When things are going great, the Stoics remind us to savor these moments, knowing they too are fleeting. By embracing the transient nature of our experiences, we cultivate a mindset of gratitude and presence, making us more resilient to life's fluctuations. When you're in a tough situation, whether it's a challenging conversation, a setback, or an unexpected change, remember that this moment, like all moments, will pass. This awareness gives us the strength to face adversity without letting it dictate our peace of mind. So, the next time you're caught in a wave of emotion, remember this Stoic principle: this too shall pass. By embracing the impermanence of your emotions, you create space for greater emotional resilience, allowing you to handle whatever comes your way with calm and clarity. 6. Self-reflection and emotional mastery. Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools we can use to understand and master our emotions. Often, when we react emotionally, whether it's anger, frustration, or sadness, we don't fully understand where these feelings come from. Stoicism teaches us that by regularly taking the time to reflect on our thoughts and emotions, we can uncover the deeper reasons behind our reactions and make more rational, value-driven decisions. For example, let's say you feel frustrated with a colleague at work. In the moment, it's easy to react with irritation, but through self-reflection, you can ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is it their behavior, or perhaps it's a deeper issue like feeling overlooked or disrespected? By identifying the root cause, you gain insight into your own beliefs and values, which can help you respond with greater understanding and calm. This process isn't about being overly critical of ourselves, but about recognizing the patterns in our emotions and behaviors. When we understand our emotional triggers, we create the space to change how we react. Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasize that we are not slaves to our emotions. Instead, we have the power to choose how we respond. Imagine facing a stressful situation, maybe a challenging conversation or a difficult decision. By taking a moment to reflect, you can pause and examine your feelings, ensuring that your response aligns with your core values rather than being driven by impulse. This shift in perspective not only helps you maintain emotional control but also strengthens your inner resilience. So, make self-reflection a daily practice. Whether it's through journaling, meditation, or quiet moments of introspection, take the time to check in with yourself. The more you reflect, the more you'll understand your emotional landscape, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity, wisdom, and emotional mastery. 7. The role of patience. Patience is often seen as simply waiting without complaint, but in Stoicism, it's much more than that. True patience isn't just about enduring delays, it's about maintaining your composure and turning those waiting moments into opportunities for personal growth. Stoic philosophy teaches us that life is full of unexpected delays, whether it's a traffic jam, a long line at the store, or waiting for an important project to come through. Instead of reacting with frustration, we can use these moments to cultivate patience and use our time more wisely. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic on the way to an important meeting. Instead of letting the frustration build up and waste your energy, a Stoic approach would encourage you to see this time as an opportunity to reflect, breathe, or even listen to a podcast that helps you learn. You're not simply waiting, you're using the time for personal growth, turning an irritating situation into a productive one. Stoicism also teaches us to manage our expectations. Often, impatience arises from a mismatch between what we expect and what reality delivers. By accepting that delays and obstacles are part of life, we can align our expectations with the reality that things don't always go according to plan. This shift in perspective helps us stay calm, grounded, and focused on what we can control, rather than what's outside our influence. When we practice patience, we're not just waiting for time to pass, we're learning to be more present in the moment. By embracing patience, we build resilience and emotional strength, helping us navigate life's challenges with greater ease and wisdom. So, the next time you find yourself in a frustrating situation, remember that patience is not just about waiting, it's about making the most of the time and growing through the process. 8. Forgiveness and letting go. Forgiveness, according to Stoicism, isn't about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm caused, it's about freeing ourselves from the emotional weight of holding grudges. It's a conscious decision to release the hold that past actions or people may have on our peace of mind. By practicing Stoic forgiveness, we reclaim our emotional energy, allowing us to move forward with greater clarity and strength. Take, for example, a situation where someone close to you betrays your trust. It's easy to carry that anger with you, replaying the hurtful incident in your mind, but the Stoic approach encourages you to ask yourself, what is it that I can control in this moment? You can't change what happened, but you can change how you respond to it. Forgiving doesn't mean you approve of the wrongdoing, it means you choose not to let it continue to affect your peace and joy. Stoicism teaches that everyone is fallible, and we all make mistakes. By acknowledging our own imperfections and practicing empathy, we gain a better understanding of why others might act the way they do. This perspective makes forgiveness easier. It's not about excusing the behavior, but about seeing it as part of the shared human condition, where everyone is struggling in their own way. By forgiving, we also allow ourselves to grow beyond the hurt. Imagine constantly carrying the burden of anger and resentment, it weighs us down and affects how we interact with others. Letting go of that weight lightens our hearts and minds, freeing us to focus on the things that truly matter. Forgiveness, in this sense, isn't just a gift for the person who wronged us, it's a gift for ourselves, helping us move forward with peace and purpose. So, if you're holding on to a grudge or emotional pain, consider taking a Stoic approach. What can I control? How can I free myself from the past so I can live more fully in the present? Forgiveness is a powerful tool, not just for healing relationships, but for fostering inner peace. 9. Practicing self-control. Practicing self-control is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, as it allows us to align our actions with our long-term goals and values. It's not about denying ourselves pleasure or repressing emotions, but rather about acting with intention and discipline. Every day, we have countless moments where our impulses and desires tempt us to stray from our path. Whether it's choosing the cookie over a healthy snack or snapping back in anger during a frustrating conversation, self-control helps us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. One practical Stoic technique is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. At the end of each day, take a moment to assess whether your choices aligned with your values. Did you act impulsively or thoughtfully? By evaluating your behavior, you can pinpoint areas for improvement and continue to grow. For instance, if you lost your temper during an argument, reflect on what triggered it and how you could respond differently next time. This kind of reflection allows us to consciously guide our actions rather than letting them be ruled by habit. Setting personal rules is another key Stoic practice. These rules help create a framework for behavior that aligns with our goals. For example, you might set a rule to not check your phone during meals, ensuring you stay present with your family. Or, you could decide to exercise every morning, creating a healthy routine that supports long-term well-being. By following these self-imposed rules, we strengthen our self-discipline and make choices that serve our greater purpose. Increasing your tolerance for discomfort is also essential in building self-control. The Stoics believed that enduring discomfort voluntarily makes us stronger and more resilient. Whether it's enduring a cold shower, resisting the urge to indulge in unhealthy habits, or pushing through a difficult task, these small challenges gradually build mental toughness. Over time, you'll find that what once felt unbearable becomes easier, and your ability to maintain self-control in more significant challenges grows. Remember, self-control is a journey, not a destination. It's normal to falter, but the key is to recognize those moments, learn from them, and keep striving. Each time you practice self-control, even in small ways, you are making progress. Like building a muscle, your self-control grows stronger with every thoughtful action you take. Stay committed to your values, keep practicing, and watch how your life begins to align more closely with your deeper purpose. 10. The journey of self-control. The journey of self-control is not a one-time effort, but a continuous path that requires patience, self-awareness, and resilience. In the course of life, we will inevitably falter. Whether it's indulging in an impulsive action or giving into a moment of weakness, these moments of failure are not the end of the road. Instead, they are opportunities for growth. The Stoics remind us that our mistakes are powerful teachers, and it's how we respond to them that shapes our character. Each time we stumble, we gain valuable insights into our triggers, limitations, and desires. By reflecting on these moments and asking ourselves what led to our loss of control, we can start to build a deeper understanding of ourselves. For example, if you lose your patience with a loved one, it's a chance to explore why it happened. Was it because of stress, unmet expectations, or something else? By taking the time to reflect, we can adjust our approach in the future and make better choices. Improvement doesn't come overnight, it's a gradual process of learning, adapting, and refining our behaviors. Each time we make a more intentional choice, we grow stronger. Think of it like a muscle, the more we practice self-control, the more resilient we become. Over time, we'll notice that the things that once triggered us no longer have the same power, and our responses become more thoughtful and aligned with our long-term goals. The journey of self-control also requires compassion. Being kind to ourselves when we slip up is key. Instead of berating ourselves for a mistake, we must recognize that it's all part of the process. Just like we would encourage a friend who struggles, we should extend the same grace to ourselves. This mindset helps us maintain the motivation to keep going, knowing that growth is a series of steps, not a straight line. Ultimately, the journey of self-control is about balance. It's about finding harmony between our impulses and our values, our desires and our goals. As we continue this journey, we are not just building self-discipline, we are creating a life that is true to who we are and what we stand for. And with each step, we get closer to a life of greater wisdom, peace, and fulfillment. Now that you have a deeper understanding of how self-control can lead to a more fulfilling life, it's time to put these principles into action. Remember, self-control is not about perfection but progress. Every small decision you make today shapes the future you want. So, take a moment to reflect on your own habits, identify areas where you can exercise more self-discipline, and make one positive change today. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this with someone who needs this message, and comment below with your thoughts on how self-control has impacted your life. Together, let's keep learning, growing, and living with purpose. Stay tuned for more Stoic wisdom that will help you master your emotions and live your best life.